guys, so with the release of Lemon Cookie as well as Marshmallow Bunny and the summer update being out featuring Stormbringer Cookies Crystal Jam, I am going to be updating the PvE tier list for July 2025. And then we are going to be updating the PvP tier list tomorrow. But let's get into it. Of course, just keep in mind that this is going to be based on my opinion as well as my experience inside of the game. And people may have different opinions from me. But if you guys do, then please let me know down in the comments below so that I can adjust it after hearing the reason and things like that as well. But let's get into it quickly with the bottom tiers, of course, and that is going to be the Stay Away from Sonic all the way to Moon Rabbit. And then we have C tier from Candy Diver to our Red Velvet. Thankfully, a cookie who's very similar to Candy Diver is going to be absolutely broken. And then we have B tier from Clotted Cream down to Crunchy Chip to Cherry Blossom and Red Ass Mantis. And then we have the A tier from Pitaya Dragon down to Snow Sugar and then Licorice. And then for the Situational, we still have Linzer all the way down to our BTS. And of course, just keep in mind that the Situational are going to be cookies that are going to be more for specific situations, where Linzer is going to be used a lot more than most of these cookies because of the fact that her skill is going to be very unique and goes through debuff immunity. But besides that, you know, we still have a attack speed increase, we have zap effects, we have the damage link, we have purify, we have attack increase, we have healing reduction and summoning, as well as some flat out buff and a cookie you cannot get anymore. Alright, so we do have all of those cookies as mainly the Situational as of right now. Alright, and then moving on to the S tier are going to be from the regular Golden Cheese, regular White Lily, regular Holly Berry, and then we have the Sea Fairy down to Black Raisin, and then we have from Prune Juice down to our Sugarfly as well. Alright, of course, just keep in mind that we have the Sea Fairy buff scheduled to come out for September of 2025, around the time when Silent Salt is going to be releasing as well. So I do want to see how that's going to go. And then the PD also did specifically say that he's gonna try to go back to some of those older cookies, especially the high rarity ones, to see if he can bring them back up, to rebalance them, to rework them a little bit so that they can be used for the current state of the game right now at the time that they are getting buffed for. So they are going to be starting out with Sea Fairy first, so I'm actually very excited to see how that's going to turn out as well. Alright guys, now moving on to the SS tier, it's going to be from Awakened Golden Cheese, and we have brought back up Stormbringer Cookie, especially with that Crystal Jam. And then we have all the way down to Parfait, and then Nutmeg Tiger to Icicle Yeti as well. Alright, so we did bring back up Stormbringer with the Crystal Jam. Definitely has gotten a lot better. Wouldn't necessarily consider it OP though, because of the fact that Stormbringer is still very, in a way, squishy. And in my opinion, definitely for any other players, it's gonna take a lot more resources to actually utilize someone like Stormbringer with the Crystal Jam compared to someone like, you know, Hollyberry and Burning Spice and, you know, Fire Spirit and things like that. So that's the reason why I kept her in the SS tier for the tier list, even after receiving her Crystal Jam. And now moving on to the OP tier, and that's going to be the last tier, and that is going to also be with Hollyberry Awaken. We have Eternal Sugar, we have Shadow Milk, Fire Spirit, Burning Spice, we have Mystic Flower, we have our Awaken Pure Vanilla, we still do have Awaken Dark Cacao in here. We have our Wind Archer, Creme Brulee, Red Bull, as well as our Pudding Island Mode, Twizzly, Black Lemonade, our Cream Ferret, as well as Star Coral. Alright, so I would say right here, the only one that I'm kind of iffy about nowadays is going to be our Dark Cacao Awaken. He possibly can be moved down to the SS tier, but he does have a very unique skill where he does prevent healing. He provides a lot of debuffs and things like that as well. So I do want to still consider him OP for a lot of the content, especially as a tank, right? He still is a tank at the end of the day. So that's another reason why he is pretty darn good for any of the people who are like starting off the game, as well as going into late game as well for the PvE tier. And in a lot of the Cookie Alliance stages, you know, he does come in handy because, again, with that healing reduction, healing prevention, so just keep that in mind. And then we still do have the combo of the electricity type with Twizzly and our Black Lemonade. Black Lemonade strictly needs to be used with someone like Twizzly, as well as putting out a mode, but mainly Twizzly, just so that you just amplify the damage output a ton. Alright, so it's more of a supporting type right over here. And I like to combine them together because they are more of a set cookie right now inside of the game. And then we still have our Cream Ferret and Star Coral. And then of course every one of these cookies are going to be really good in a lot of the stages. I have been recently seeing a lot of comments talking about how if you have these OP cookies and then you can just kind of beat everything. In the early games, yes. Technically early game you can use probably any of the other cookies here too, and you can probably beat it. But the more and more harder difficulties you guys go into, like the hard mode, master mode for the mid players, as well as the beasties, normal difficulty to the hard difficulties, it's not gonna be like that. It's more of timing, it's more of how you build the cookies, and things like that are going to really matter as well. So just keep those things in mind. And then of course we still are looking for someone like Milky Way's magic candy. Don't know where that went, but that has been kind of talked about as well. And then of course we're looking for other magic candies as well. But let's get into the 3 new cookies that have been added: Cream Soda, as well as Marshmallow Bunny, and our lemon cookie. So let's go into Cream Soda first. I would say Cream Soda is gonna be more of that S tier right now. Definitely is gonna be a pretty good cookie, especially for the newer players. So if you still want to take advantage of that Tower of Adventure events that is, I believe, still going on, then please do so that you do get free stuff as well as free Cream Soda if you're starting off the game, especially. And you can utilize Cream Soda as your main tank / DPS for now. Going to be a decent one, and I have a feeling that she is going to be great later down the line once like maybe Sea Fairy gets a buff, as well as once those like Epic Omni Arena and Element specific events are going to be back. Alright, and then we have Marshmallow Bunny, and I have to say Marshmallow Bunny is going to be in that OP tier. Going to be very good. Gonna be that cookie that kind of took inspiration from Candy Diver, but actually made it so that she can be used in a lot of the stages and is going to be OP. Instead of having that RNG feature like Candy Diver, Marshmallow Bunny does not have RNG feature, just needs to have a specific amount of stats, and then going to be able to give all of those buffs to every single one of the cookies inside of the team. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then please watch the review video. But absolutely going to be OP, and I do love how they designed her into how she is right now. So definitely have to give Marshmallow Bunny that OP tier. And the last one is going to be Lemon, and Lemon, in my opinion, is going to be in that S tier as well. Going to be very similar to the situation of how Cream Soda is right now. Going to be for that electricity type. Going to deal some damage. Not going to be insanely OP, but we still do need to see how he's going to turn out later down the line when citrus cookies are out, the rest of the citrus squad, because that is going to increase the buffs as well. So I do want to see how that turns out later down the line. But that is going to be the PvE tier list of July 2025 here, guys. And again, we are looking out for more of the cookies with magic candies coming out later down the line. But mainly, just keep in mind, epic cookies inside of the regular arena not going to have any impact, but PvE is going to be where they're going to have a bit more impact. Once the magic candies do come out, their tiers are definitely going to increase a lot dramatically as well. So let's see how it turns out, but that is going to be it for this particular video, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have anything to suggest, to change, anything like that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And also we'll be updating that PvP tier list tomorrow, and then we'll be updating more of those arena comp videos as well. Anyways, thanks for watching.